Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Adam Knighty. Always a pleasure to be coming your way with Home Affairs. And let me say a very big thank you to our sponsors. Amasha Partners Limited and iCare. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Dano Milk, choose tasty milk. Choose Dano Milk. Dano Milk, go for it. Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. You're our sponsors on Home Affairs, and we are grateful to you always for banking on us. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Now, you know that this month we have been talking about breast cancer on all our platforms. We talk about it, but this year I think we have been a bit more involved, especially so on Home Affairs. If you will remember when we started, the very first week we spoke to Gina, who is a breast cancer survivor. Then last week, I ended up crying on the radio because we spoke to Gifty. Oh my God. Sometimes you wonder how one human being can have so many problems at one given point in time. Had breast cancer. I mean, she noticed this in her breast. It kept growing. Everybody says, do herbal, do herbal. The herbal wasn't working, but she went on and on and on until eventually, when she was going to begin treatment, she was told it was at stage 4. Like, where the doctors have always told you they don't want it to get to. That's where she was. But miraculously, she survived it up to this point. However, if you followed through with the conversation, you know that she's not out of the woods. Because after her, the mastectomy, which is, when they surgically took out the breast, she was supposed to do radiation. And there was no money. Like her story, you know it. There was no money. And so she abandoned that. And unfortunately, the other breast had also started developing some lump in it. And last week I broke down on air and asked you people to support. And I have been amazed at the response. Just that one announcement, we have about 12,000 CDs, which is able to support her to some extent. But the challenge with her story right now is you're unable to say which treatment she's going to get, because then she will have to go through the whole process all over again. She was asked to do an ultrasound scan. Thankfully, Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center, they gave us some vouchers. We gave it to her, so she's done the scan. It's been reviewed. Most likely, she will have to do a biopsy and some other things. Then when all of that is done and the treatment is determined, then we will know approximately how much all that will cost. And everybody who has donated a peswa, somebody sent as little as 51 CDs and said, Adam, this is all I have. I was so touched. Somebody sent in 2,000, 300, 500, 800. God bless all of you. But hey, for this one girl, we may be needing a bit more. And I am sure that next week, I will be able to bring you a bit more details on how her story is panning out. But at this point in time, I want to say thank you and to tell you that continue to do good. And wherever you got it from, God will replace it for you. Now, this is how we'll be wrapping up on the whole Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Doesn't mean that we're done talking about breast cancer, because breast cancer doesn't afflict people only in October. You know that, right? It's just October we pay a bit more attention to it. And today we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Grace Bachman. She is the medical director, but I like to say she is the chief servant here at the Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center. They have branches in Accra and Sonotech and West Hills Mall. I'm sure Doc will tell us a bit more about Sonotech before we wrap up. However, let me say good morning to you, Doc, and you're welcome.
Hi, Adam. Good morning, and thank you for having me again today.
Great. How are you?
Should I say I'm fine? I think just listening to you this morning is already tipping me, into that mood again of just trying to figure out how else we can always keep helping, these people who constantly need our help. I always tell Gina especially that in October, it's usually tough on me as well, because sometimes you really wish you could help so much, but you can't. You know, there's a limit to which you can help. And sometimes looking at the numerous people who truly need help, it's heartbreaking. The whole month we've been making a lot of noise, and you get to the point where people need the support, and you can't really fully be there for them. It's quite heartbreaking. And I mean, I understand what you also went through last week. You know, it's tough. It's tough on all of us. It's tough on all of us. Yeah, but I'm excited to be here again today for us to wrap this whole conversation up.
Thank you so much. You guys are doing so much. You know, I know it's a business you're running. However, you do a lot of support work. You do a lot of, let me just say, free work. How do you fund that, though?
It's big. We do a lot of support work, but as you rightly said, when it comes to breast cancer, we consider it as like our biggest CSR project for the year. When Sonotech started, initially it was just an ultrasound scan center.
Yes,
before we topped up. We got to the point of now being a fully registered clinic some years back, and some of the first patients we saw at that time, that, you know, when you're starting something new, the patient's load is not too much. So there was that kind of strong relationship, you know, bond, you know, that we had with the initial patients that we started. And one of them really stood out. May her soul rest in peace. So she was coming, you know, normal consultations every time, and not just her, but her whole family. So herself, her husband, the daughter, a 6-year-old girl. You know, so one of the times she just brought in the girl, not even for herself, like for her daughter. And she was like, she's just having headaches, you know. So at that point, I was like, oh, maybe just let's take some paracetamol for now and then monitor it later on. However, whilst we're talking, and she started opening up, not knowing she had breast cancer some year, I think she finished the last treatment. She didn't finish the treatment actually, like 3 years before, you know, I met her. And wow. She defaulted again due to financial reasons.
Oh dear.
You know, and I mean, at that point, it's like I was so worried than even she herself. And we had to quickly do a head CT scan, and oh my word, I was so shocked at what we found. I mean, that day I literally cried, because you had been coming to this facility. We are always seeing you. Maybe you come probably a malaria, you come, you are not well, but you never ever mentioned that you had breast cancer, you were treated some years back and had to default because of, she thought once I'm not going again to the hospital, I mean, I'll be fine, just a matter of time, I'll be fine. And that day I was shocked. I called Dr. Ansafo in Korle Bu, and just right in front of me, she started having seizures, and you know, at that point, it was
too late.
Much. Yeah, it was. Just a few weeks down the line, we lost her.
Oh.
You know, and not just her. Like at that time, I don't know what was happening. So many people coming in, even they just come in for scans, and we are too worried for the patients. It's like more than they themselves are worried for themselves. You know, so then we started talking that, see, what can we do to help? You know, that's where this whole thing started. So what can we do to help? So about 8 years ago, we said, if we cannot even do much, at least we can do the education. That's number one. You know, to disabuse people's minds of all these things. If I don't go to the hospital,
then yeah, it's okay.
It's okay for me to stay home.
What you don't know won't kill you. That's right? What we say.
Yes. And I think so. We took the education very, very seriously. And I mean, we are more into diagnostics as well. So then we are like, we can do the ultrasounds, we can do the CTs at a discount, we can, you know, support with some investigations, we can, you know, so at the initial stages, we're working very closely with the breast surgery unit at Korle Bu, which we still do, you know, so every now and then, I mean, they'll reach out to us, those who cannot afford treatment, some of the investigations, ultrasound labs, and that's how come we've built that strong relationship for the past 8 years, and so every single year, And so far it's been quite fulfilling, because there's always a change. I mean, at least if someone doesn't pay attention to the breast the whole year,
at least that month.
Exactly. They know they should look forward to October. And we have people who even call before October. This year, what are you guys doing? So this year I'm coming. So, so it's like people have put it on their calendar. And I think, so for us, that's how we start.
Congratulations. It's a really good job you people are doing, because I got a bit involved this year. We create awareness, we do screenings here at the multimedia group for our team members, and sometimes open it to the public. But I got a bit involved this year, especially so also after we spoke to Gifty last week. There's this group, Safe Haven for Support for Cancer. I think you were acknowledged at the place, and they gave me a call. One of the patrons, Christine, she gave me a call. Christine Latte, she gave me a call. So, and then I went with Gifty, and I was amazed at the number of people who had gone through this, survived, and people they are supporting and all that. And there's no way you can take yourself out of it, because you're a woman, and this plagues and afflicts only women. We can only be there to support each other. And so congratulations to you and your team for the good work you're doing. We should do a bit more. We should work together and do a bit more, not only wait for October, and do a bit more. Now, you mentioned rightly that a lot more people are getting involved. Now I want to find out, how has the screening centers been this year? Because you have quite a number of places you're running screening. How has it been?
Okay, so I think a few days ago I was having a discussion with another colleague, and we're talking about the fact that it's good this year. It looks like so many people have joined in the fight. I mean, I'll be surprised if anyone is listening and says, I've not heard anything about breast cancer the whole month. That'll be quite surprising. I mean, there's the talks, people are, even at church. So there are so many screening centers this year. For Sonotech too, I think almost every day we're out somewhere, screening. However, looking at the numbers we screened last year compared to this year, there's been a little dip. I would probably push it on the fact that there are so many options in terms of where you can get to screen. Because if I don't get to screen it at probably a center, maybe at work, maybe at church, maybe there are so many options compared to last year, compared to last 2 years. So, and that way, that's a good thing in itself.
Great.
However, the part I've been quite worried about is, so for instance, some maybe organizations or bodies will probably call on a health team to come do the screening, but we need to be careful to put out there that just the mere fact that people are coming and getting screened and we tell them they are okay doesn't mean the story ends there. Yes, that's one of the things I've been worried about, because someone will tell you, oh, maybe there was a screening point probably at this market. I went and they checked and they said everything is fine. For instance, when we did our screening last week at Swejo, some of the women actually thought we were coming there with a mammogram and all that's coming to the mammo there for them, and we're explaining that there's no way you can just move a mammogram from your facility to the place and do it for them. At the screening point, what we do is the clinical breast exam. And so either the nurse or a doctor who has been trained would, take you through the steps. Even the best of hands cannot pick up 100% of the lesions.
Everything.
Exactly. Even the best of hands. So even at the screening point, we still emphasize the need for people to go the step further. And if you are within the age bracket 40 plus and you've never done your mammogram, we insist that you still come and do it. If you are less than 40 and you've never ever had a breast ultrasound, we still insist that come in and do it. Because, for instance, if you take a mammogram, it can pick lesions very, very tiny, sometimes 3 years before they even show, 3 years before you can even pick it up with your hand. I think the other part is still we're also getting a number of people who get screened and they are told to do the mammogram. They come ask for the cost, even in spite of the discount. They don't come back. So we were discussing that we need to really call all those who have been screened and have been told to do either the ultrasound or the mammogram. And, we go the step further to interact with them. Is it just because of the cost or like why? I mean, you finish the screening, do the mammogram, you ask of the cost and you don't come back again. These are some of the things we are talking about. So like moving forward, for instance, if there is some support, then we should look at also getting enough support to be doing like free mammograms and free scans for people. Because for me, it's heartbreaking. We'll make a lot of noise. We'll make a come and get screened. And then you come, you get screened. And then after that, what else? Do the mammogram, you cannot pay for it. Do this, you cannot pay for it. Then I'm like, are we really gaining much from the whole awareness creation?
The issues are nuanced.
Too many.
Oh my world.
Yeah.
And then again, even if you're calling for free mammograms and ultrasound screenings and all that, it happens that there is something in there, then treatment becomes a problem. Oh my world. Women, we have issues.
So many.
And this is one of the things that we really need all the support.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, it's obvious that the reason we don't seem to be seeing all the progress we require in this area is funds.
It comes down to funds.
It comes down to it. With where you sit, I know I don't want to put you into any trouble, and the deliberations you have with your team members and all that from your own little corner. What do you think we can do about this?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
So I know when it comes to health, there are so many things on the list. Let's start not just from us, but bigger government. I mean, we have the National Health Insurance, and I think it's a brilliant start. It helps to some point. I know some of the initial investigations and all that, even surgery costs, you don't have to pay the full if you're on the National Health Insurance. And recently, I'm told some of the chemo drugs have even been put on the National Health Insurance, and that's a good start.
But I heard that if you go and you need 5, they'll give you 1.
You see all the problems we have with it. So if we can probably advocate for a National Health Insurance that will be more solid and probably absorb more cost, a bit more. Because a few weeks back, we had a team coming from the UK just for some discussion still on this breast cancer issues, and we were told that because of the way their system is, it's just a matter of you being diagnosed. Almost everything is taken care of. So then now that burden of costs is not part of what you are thinking about. Because look at all the people that we spoke to during this month, the mental drain, like all that you are going through, and then now you are adding finance to it. But if we're able to expand our National Health Insurance to absorb some of these things, it will go a long way to help. There are some groups, organized groups in the country, like the Teachers Association, that I'm told there is a very small levy that they pay. And so if you are diagnosed with a cancer, there is also a place that one of the private centers that almost every treatment is free.
Okay.
Yes. So those are some of the things that we can explore, like organized associations. It's something small that you might not really feel at the end of the month.
Saving a lot of lives.
Yes. And so, and you don't expect, if let's say we are taking doctors, let me use doctors as an example, and we are saying every month we are probably contributing 1 cedi of our salary to a fund that would help, such that if there is any single doctor who has a cancer, then your treatment will be fully taken care of. You can imagine how far that can go to help.
That's something very laudable.
Yeah, but definitely a lot of the people too that will be diagnosed will not find themselves in any organized profession like that. That's how come the National Health Insurance and all those other things come to help. And this month, there's been so many organizations, so many corporate bodies that have also done activities to raise funds to support. I would say that the support shouldn't end in October. It should go. I was in a group, the Breast Society of Ghana. We were just discussing recently that this whole breast cancer awareness campaign should be like every month. It should be every month, because the support in the month of October is quite huge. And so I think one of the things we can explore is if any organization did some form of activity to raise funds or put together some support for either the survivors or for treatment and all that. It shouldn't be just a one-off thing. Let's not wait for next year, October,
to do it again.
Please. We know it's that there are so many things on the line that we all support from time to time, but it shouldn't be just an October thing. The support should be something continuous. And the other thing is for us to also discuss the possibility of this free breast screening also not ending in October. So after October, if someone should come to any of our facilities, but that's also big cost, If someone should come in, at least they should have the free breast screening done, as a start
clinical
point.
one.
Yes, exactly. At least to start with, So I think these are some of the things we can put in place. It cannot be 100% solved, but together we can definitely reduce the financial burden on.
Should we add it to the regulars? Like you go, they're checking for sugar, they're checking your blood pressure and all that.
If you're
at a certain age as a woman, I think that
we should add it, right?
It could be part of it. Because I kind of feel after October, lots of other things come up.
Yeah.
And people focus on lots of other things. A lot of people are also looking to raising funds for other sectors and other things.
Yeah.
And so, breast cancer awareness, you people have taken yours. Let's move to something else, But then I think that we could find ways of, especially I am a bit concerned about this because this lives can be salvaged if it is seen early. So why don't we put in all the measures we can to ensure that these things are being seen early? And then when it is pushing to the issue of cost, we see what we are able to do about it as well. Great. There's another aspect of this conversation that we started last week with you. I'll bring it back in a bit. But before I go into that, I want to find out from you. Does it present only with the lump? Is that the only way you could be thinking that you may be having, breast cancer?
Okay, so it's definitely not just the lump, but most of the time you realize the lump is the first thing that people usually complain of. And even with the lump, it's not any lump at all. Most of the times, it's like a firm, solid lump in there that is most of the times not mobile and has very irregular surface or edges. However, there are so many things that you can complain about. Remember, we said that earlier in the discussion, since it's a cancerous process, once it starts, at the very, very early stages, you will not even feel anything. This reiterates the reason why we are emphasizing that just the clinical breast exam alone doesn't answer. Because if you're at a stage 0, where the cancer cells have just started in the ducts or in the lobes, at that point, you will not even feel anything. Even if you do the breast self-exam at home or you come, we do the clinical, we will not even palpate anything because at a stage 0, it's something really, really tiny that's happening in the breast. However, with time, then you have the lump forming. There are so many other changes that you can look out for when it comes to the breast. So let's take the skin of the breast, for instance. You can just all of a sudden have one breast become bigger than the other. Most of the times people, definitely if you look at the breast, there's a slight difference when you look at one compared to the other. But if there is a sudden change in the size of one, that can also be of concern. And then even the skin of the breast itself, there can be some discolorations, there can be some rashes, there can be, the nipple as well. Sometimes when you have the lump in the breast, it can pull on the nipple, what we call a nipple retraction. So you realize most of the nipples stand out very nicely. I mean, there are a few people who have their nipples pulled in, but significantly what it does is if the lump is in the breast, it can just pull on the nipple and then you have that nipple retraction. And some people can also complain of the nipple discharge. And when you are not breastfeeding, we are not expecting to see any milk. There are a few women who would have some serous discharge from the nipple from time to time, but especially when it's like bloody, then it's something of concern. So generally,
isn't it a bit late in time by the time you're saying that it's bloody?
Exactly, most of the times. However, it's not even if it's bloody, we still cannot conclude just by having a bloody nipple discharge, because there are other conditions in the breast, especially when it involves the ducts, that can also cause
bloody
discharge. So generally, the thing is, just know your breast, know how normally it is. And then if there is any slight change, you'll be able to pick it up. So even during the breast health exam, we say, you see the under part of the breast, especially for those who have their breasts, sagging a little. Like that's also an area you need to pay attention, because if there is something there, it can be hiding without you not knowing. The other place that is very important is your axillary region, the armpit area. So when we are saying the lump, it's not even just a lump in the breast. Some people will just come with just a lump in the axilla, because the axillary tail of the breast extends all the way into the armpit. So a lot of people can come in just with some, discomfort in the axillary area, and before you go check,
it's cancer.
It's cancer. So first of all, just know how normally that place is. So if there is any slight change, you can pick it up. Sometimes it can just be just a small deformity of the shape. If there's a lump, definitely it might not, you might lose the fine contour of the breast a little. You might see probably a bump somewhere, maybe a discoloration on the skin. So all those tiny changes can point out to breast.
Okay, Doc, are all these at the onset of breast cancer? Because I kind of feel by the time you're noticing that one breast is visibly bigger than the other, or noticing a progressive discoloration in the breast, or seeing that, you have rashes or discharge or blood or something coming out, wouldn't it have, if there's anything, wouldn't it have progressed a little bit?
Okay, so, yeah, definitely. When we're doing the series, we spoke about different types of breast cancer. So depending on the type of cancer that you have, so for instance, if it's more of an inflammatory type of breast cancer, most of the times it starts by being engorged and sometimes painful. If it's the rare type, like the Paget's disease of the nipple, it will start with the nipple changes. But usually the common ones, that's the ductal carcinoma in situ and the invasive lobular carcinoma, those ones are the ones that would usually start with the tumor and then the lump, and then progresses with all the changes. And then remember, we also went through the stages as well. For instance, if you're at a stage 3, then we are looking at the skin changes. And stage 2, stage 3 too, we are looking at some of the lymph node involvement. So that's when you can have the lumps in the axilla and all. So yeah, definitely, you are right. Once it's progressing from stage 0, 1, 2, 3, you get to stage 4. Then most of the other changes are
very visible.
Yeah, very, very visible.
Okay. So best bet, have the screening done regularly. so that whatever it is picked very early.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's Pink October on Joy 99.7 FM. We have been doing this all month and we are wrapping up.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Now let me ask you to shine your eyes, Mawini Naho, because cooking is being more fun and enjoyable than ever before. While cooking with your favorite Onga spices, there are also loads of gifts to be taken home just like that. Onga brings you Mawini Naho promo. Just shine your eyes and win big. This is Ongalicious. To enter the Shine Your Eyes promo and enjoy all the goodies, one, just pick up together 25 promo wrappers of Onga shrimp tablets and add 5 promo wrappers of either chicken, beef or stew tablet to it. Then submit them at any of our redemption centers and you will instantly win a gift. You can win up to 100,000 cedis cash. You can win televisions. You can win washing machines, deep freezers, and many more. This is an instant gift. No go cambia. So shine your eyes and start picking the Onga promo wrappers now. This promo started on the 16th of October and it is ending on December 31st. Terms and conditions do apply, and remember, this advert is FDA approved. And it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for Business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple and fast. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompts or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. You receive a reference number which you can use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Note that the application is free. Do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on Play Store and App Store. Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium, to aid in the healthy growth of your baby. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice, and wheat variants, and it also comes in 3 unique pack sizes: 50-gram, 400-gram tea, and 350-gram block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. So, Doc, now we moved on to a certain important aspect of this conversation last week, and I want us to talk about it again. How is it that quite often than not, the first approach is let's go and get herbs? So I asked you last week, and I want us to stress it a little bit. First, question number 1. Has it been proven in any way? Has anybody, or do you people know of anybody that has gotten healed of breast cancer because they were applying cabbage or drinking something?
Definitely no.
So how loud can we make this?
Sometimes, I don't know, I get surprised myself because you realize I think the Gina, that was the story. Miriam,
cabbage.
That was also, the story with all the delays and what people said. But I think it's usually because of the people we probably listen to and trust in the society, because all the people who applied, someone said. Someone said. So people around us, when it comes to the role this herbal thing plays, is very, very important. Someone is telling us, let's use this concoction. I think it's not even just breast cancer. A lot of other, medical conditions. Someone is telling you, do this. Someone is telling you, drink this. Someone is telling... And most of the times, the people telling us to use all those things don't even have any success story to show us. So why do we trust so much in them rather than coming to the hospital to follow the due process and then make sure we are well? Sometimes I tend to still think of the financial implication, because Miriam too, that was the same thing when she was told to go to someone for some herbal, for some...
All the way in Cape Coast.
Yes. She left Accra all the way, went to Cape Coast, and, till she saw another person that the same thing was given to, and the person died. That's when she came to her senses. So my what I'm thinking is it because they feel the herbal is an easy route to reduce the financial burden? Because, when you enter the hospital, maybe you start with labs. Maybe the herbal people, they don't do labs at all. They don't do labs and all those things. But I think it's important we drum this home. We've not seen any single case that herbal treatment has been able to cure. None. All it does is it actually just worsens and makes, things really, really bad. Because, first of all, you are delaying. Maybe at the time you started a herbal, probably you were at a very early stage that, a lot could have been done to save the breast. Remember that it's not just the delaying, but you also making the whole thing, worse, and even increasing your financial burden. Because at your stage 0, probably you would have done maybe just surgery alone, and you'll be fine. Even the surgery, probably you wouldn't have to take everything. You didn't do a mastectomy. Probably you do a breast conservation therapy. Now you wait, you apply all those things, then you come in at a stage 3, stage 4. Now the same financial cost you were running away from, it has tripled or quadrupled. So I think let's start seeing some of these things that way. Not just that, but it makes, sometimes the things they apply, it actually makes, I've seen one, it was so bad. It actually gets infected. You have breast cancer and there's like, you are infecting the whole area again. So it's like we are killing ourselves slowly when we resort to all these herbal concoctions and all that. And whoever is listening, let's be mindful of, these things, and especially what we tell people around us. If you have not seen anyone go through this with a concoction and has come out, healed or cured, why would you recommend it to someone else? And why are we also tending to believe so much in what people are telling us rather than having trust in our healthcare system? At least breast cancer is not one of those things we'll say we don't know what to do about. Science has progressed. We definitely know treatment options. There are so many success stories. That's why this month I'm excited that a lot of survivors are talking.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's one aspect of the whole campaign I've been excited about, because I think the more we do that, it increases people's confidence in our healthcare system.
Yeah.
So if Gina has come, who is 30-something years and is sharing her story, I had it and now I'm fine. Next time someone listening has any changes in their breast, the person would, to some extent, have some trust and come to the nearest healthcare facility rather than resorting to some herbal medication. So I want to say kudos to all the survivors that have come out to share their stories, and I think year in and year out, it really goes a long way to
create the awareness and to
make
people a bit more confident.
Yeah.
So is it Ghana Medical and Dental Association, right? Mm-hmm. That's the governing body.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any relationship with the Herbal Medicine Association or whatever they call it?
I think so, definitely. But some of these herbal things now, some of these institutions, I know there's a whole, the Ghana Health, there's a whole body. Yeah, there's a whole body trying to regulate some of the things they do.
I know there are lots of people in the system who are not doing the right thing, but at that level, I want to believe that conversations can be had, so that they also step in from their side to let people know that for some of the ailments, that is not the route to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just throwing it out there for the people who are the helm of affairs to consider having some of these conversations so that a lot more awareness, because it's interesting, Doc, that the ladies that we have spoken to on, you've been on the show, we've spoken to, all of them are educated.
Yeah.
These are not like people who are illiterate or people who are not lettered. They are all educated, and It is after they have done the herbal for a bit that they are not seeing any improvement that they begin to read around it and then realize that, oh, it could be something else.
Yeah.
You know, in the case of Gifty, even though she wanted to go to the hospital, her brothers, she said her brothers said no, she should do the herbal medicine because that's what they can afford and that's what they believe in. And so they kept pushing her. I think the point she said she ran away was when they changed to another herbal person who says he is a spiritualist and a pastor and all that, but always wanted to meet them by the roadside and hand over the medicine to them. That's how
sometimes when you hear these things, you think it's far away, you think it's not happening here, but you'll be shocked.
Yes, that's how she became alarmed and said, why wouldn't we come to your church or your shrine or wherever it is, but you want us to meet at the roadside? So they gave her the medicine. She refused to take it. Her family insisted she did, and that's how she ran away from home until she met a pastor somewhere who started helping her with prayer and advised that, no, I am praying, but you have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But he also didn't have the means, but he tried to introduce her to another person who tried to raise some funds, and then so she had to hide to do the mastectomy.
Wow.
Yes, her story is very bad. She had to hide, and after the surgery, when she called home and told them that she had had surgery, one of them said, I never want to see your face again or talk to you again. Yes.
Wow.
Those are the points that I go crying, that even at this point that,
just the fact that she's taking that bold step to have the surgery.
She's not listening and all that, And the other side also is how this impacts families. You've heard stories about people's husbands and fiancés abandoning them because you have breast cancer and all that. So the issues around it sometimes don't end up resting with just the person who is suffering, but then it goes to affect the whole family, and that's why we need to pay attention to. The other aspect that I want us to have a conversation quickly about is also the part about the fear and the living in denial. How should we handle that moving forward? Because I am gathering this information from you so that we know how we are strategizing going into the next phase of creating the awareness. So you know where the problems are and how to move into them. People are afraid and people are living in denial. For instance, the lady's story you shared with us. Why didn't she trust you enough or early enough to share with you? What was she afraid of? Was she living in denial? How do we deal with that aspect of this whole thing?
That's a big one, and that's usually most of the situations. That's the case where people are diagnosed and they are like, if I don't come, I'm just home and maybe some miracle will happen and the thing will vanish. Sometimes it's difficult to understand why people are in denial and why the fear. But then again, with all this education that we're doing, I think it will go a long way to help, not just doing it here in Accra, but also making sure we get to the grassroots. Letting people understand the whole story of breast cancer. Not as we have realized, the whole society, the whole community has a role to play. Because even if the person in question is confident, there's someone in the family that would have some fear and probably project it on the one who probably has been diagnosed. And I think one thing we can also do is that once we are getting more survivors coming out to share their stories, it goes a long way to reduce the fear that people have. Because if in our society, at least I know 2 people, 3 people who have had breast cancer and have survived, then if I have an issue with the breast, I know it's not a death sentence. There was another case where it was a colleague. The mom also had breast cancer, but the mom didn't want to also go to the hospital because she had a sister who had breast cancer some years back, maybe like 15 plus years back, and she passed on. And the story was that she was even fine till she went to the hospital. Immediately they did a surgery, then she passed on. So sometimes there are these negative stories that circulate that makes people, fear and make people want to stay home when they find themselves in this situation. So there is that need for us to just continue talking about it, continue using our survivors as a, point in the whole education, so that people will see for themselves that there are so many people that are surviving. So if you have it, it's like, let's say malaria. If you have malaria, how many people have you seen die of malaria? So the more it becomes evident that breast cancer is not a death sentence, then the more people will become confident and the fear would go down. And we can only achieve that by also making sure that people are diagnosed early. So it's like a vicious cycle. It goes round. People are diagnosed early. We get a lot of people who have survived. They join in the whole advocacy process. They are examples to the whole community. And then that's the only way we can reduce the fear. Because I think the fear is fear of death, fear of some people losing their breast, some people fear of even the hair.
Yeah.
But some of these things we say it will, it's just a matter of time. It will come back. Yeah.
True.
So the fear is several reasons. So if it's death, then now you've seen so many people who have survived. So if in your lifetime you are diagnosed of breast cancer, the first thing you think about is not death. The first thing you think about is, let me hurry up and go so that I will be cured. And then the other thing is the losing of the breast. The information should be out there that if it's early again, you don't have to lose the breast. Even if you lose it. Now there's reconstruction, there is so many things. So there are a number of people working out and you think they've probably lost the breast, but it can be reconstructed. You can use prostheses, you can use other things, but then you have your life as well.
You have your life to live,
So
we cannot talk about breast cancer and its impact on women, on the family, and on the society enough. We cannot talk about it enough. Yumvita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium, to aid in the healthy growth of your baby. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice, and wheat variants, and it also comes in 3 unique pack sizes: 50 gram, 400 gram tea, and 350 gram block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yumvita, a delicious way to grow. We'll take a short break. We will be right back.
Yumvita is fortified with Nutri-V and contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, calcium, and iron for your baby's healthy growth. Yumvita, a delicious way to grow. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Majwa, you bought a new flat screen TV. My sister, Maweninda Ho. Hey, and a washing machine too. Yeah, Maweninda Ho. It's remaining a deep freezer. Hey, where dear Majwa, show me the way. Show me the way. Enter the Ungalicious Maweninda Ho promo, and you too can win big. There's up to 1 million Ghana cedis in cash and other prizes to dash. Submit 25 Unga promo wrappers of shrimp tablets and 5 of any other variant at any of our designated centers, and you will win prizes instantly. No corner brass, Timbia. Promo runs from October 16 to December 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved. Unga, Mama's helping hand.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Chani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved. Thank you all very much for staying tuned in. If you're just joining us, right, we have been wrapping up on our Breast Cancer Awareness Month with Dr. Grace Bachman. We all need to rise up and help with the fight against breast cancer. I know the doctors have said several times that you really can't tell how some of the cancers come about, and all that. But I want to, shoot my shot, right? Are there ways that women can practice prevention?
That's a big one. I wish we could say that do A, B, or C, and you will not get breast cancer in your entire life. But unfortunately, that's not the case. When it comes to breast cancer, we usually talk about risk factors, not cause. So the risk factors are things that you have that increases your lifetime, the possibility of you getting breast cancer. So there are some documented risk factors, and some of them we have control over to a large extent. However, most of them we do not have control over. For instance, you being a woman. Once you're a woman, you have the breast, you are increasing in age, there is that possibility of you getting breast cancer in your lifetime. So you see, unfortunately, no one is exempted. And then in the past too, we used to say, maybe those who have the genetic predisposition, they are the ones that are at an even increased risk. But we realize it's just about 5 to 10% of the cancer cases that are genetically related. And for a large percentage of people too, you go through all these risk factors and they usually don't have any. Mostly it's just because the person's a woman and the person has breast. So it's not all the numerous risk factors that we list that if you have this, it increases your risk. If you late menopause, early menarche, all those things we rattle, we go through your history and none of them. So when it comes to prevention, I'm always careful to say that we are not necessarily communicating that do A, B, or C
to prevent it.
Yeah. There's really, unfortunately, nothing like that. But at least we know that generally, if you have some healthy lifestyle practices, it reduces your lifetime risk. So, for instance, we've realized generally making sure you are in a healthy weight range as you're growing, and even in your menopause, because some fat cells can be converted to estrogen and increase your risk of getting breast cancer.
When you're in your menopause?
Yes, especially when you're in your menopause. So, because the fat cells at that stage has the possibility of being converted to estrogen. And we already discussed the effect of estrogen on the breast cells. It's increasing the possibility of breast cancer.
Just because we're a woman?
Just because you're a woman. The other thing is reduction or stopping smoking. I mean, that one is not just breast cancer, several other cancers when it comes to smoking, and like alcohol intake, reducing it. And especially those who also take hormone replacement therapy. Then again, in your postmenopausal period. A lot of discussions have to go on to decide on how long you have to take it, how much you need and all that, because long exposure of hormone replacement therapy can also, increase your risk of getting breast cancer. So generally, what you can do is very little.
Doc, hold on now. What you can do is very little. I will remember that. When you say hormone replacement therapies, is it in the cases of, say, PCOS and all of those other ones? No. Okay.
So you realize that when you hit your menopause, all the menopausal symptoms that you have are because of a rapid decline in, for instance, your estrogen levels.
Okay.
And some women get to the point where they cannot tolerate some of the symptoms. So then you are given like exogenous hormones to help you in your postmenopausal period so that the symptoms can be a little more tolerable. And
so you may be curing one problem and then inviting the other.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of discussions have to go on to decide on, what is best for you.
But is this only when you are in your...
Most of the time.
During menopause?
Yeah, during menopause.
Okay. A lot of women have lost their husbands, not to death, lost them because they have run away because the women are dealing with breast cancers. But what's the role of the men in all of this, Doc? What should our men be doing?
Okay. I think the role of men even starts from the point where we want to push for early detection. I've seen a number of women come just because probably their partners, picked up some change in the breast and told them to go to the hospital. So that's even a good start point.
Nice.
Yes. So if you pick up something, please don't tell your partner to go and use some herbal concoction or, go somewhere else. That's a correct start point to encourage your partner to go for the checkup. And then now it comes to the point where the person has to go through all this diagnosis and, investigations and all that. I usually say that sometimes if you have someone in your circles who is very close and, the person is unwell, the toll it has on you, it can even be more than the person.
That's true.
It's even a mother and a son or a mother and a child relationship, you can imagine. So a partner seeing the wife or the girlfriend or someone else go through that, sometimes we underestimate the effect that it has on them as well. But during that period, I think the men should try and be a little more supportive. For instance, in Miriam's case, I think she said she lost the boyfriend at the last stage of chemo.
Yes.
And when the person saw that she had lost the hair and said she was looking, there was
he lost his desire for her.
Yeah.
And you say it to her face.
Yes, that is like
crude.
I can't even imagine that. Even on a normal day, without you going through that, to hear such, a statement from your partner, you can imagine the effect. So it's like you're adding on to the person's mental health issues as well.
Yeah.
So in those stages, as difficult as it can be for our partners as well, I think we should be mindful of the words that we use for those going through treatment. The least we can do is to, say some nice things to them, encourage them, just reassure them that you are with them even throughout the process.
Yeah.
Because already, especially with the young people, they are already scared of losing you. So if you give any sign that there's a possibility of losing you just because of what you are going through, you can imagine the effects that it would
trauma.
have. Yeah, the trauma that it would have on them. And then even in the treatment, sometimes, as you said, it affects libido and all that. It's quite difficult, but let's try. Actually, some of these things you cannot, you don't know how else to say it, but we will not hide from the fact that it's difficult.
It is difficult.
It can be difficult, but I think with discussions, there can always be a way around it. For Jean, I think she mentioned that the husband will usually not talk about those things. So I think it's also relative, depending on who your partner is, and see how best you can go all out to support. But then again, most of the people who are going through breast cancer treatment or that, they come out even better if they have that strong support. Aside they leaning on usually their God or a higher force, that strong support, especially from the partners, it makes a whole big difference in their outcome.
I can't agree less, because at that point, a lot of people see cancer treatment also as a 50-50 chance. You're going through it, you're not sure whether it will work for you or not, because they know people who have gone through the treatment and have still lost their lives. So the person always has a death scare on their minds already. The person is looking at herself in the mirror and realizing that I do not look like I used to look. They can't go places. You hear about the chemo drugs and how sometimes weak it makes you feel, and on your own you're battling a lot mentally and still trying to be positive, still trying to be okay. And then this one person who's supposed to open their arms to hug you, to tell you I am here for you. Who was the person who told us the story? It was Gina who told us the story about this man who says he told the wife that I know you're going to die, and because I love you so much, I want you to see how I will mourn you when you're not here. And so the woman is in the house and you're playing dirges, and you're wearing black.
Can you imagine?
I don't know how some people reason, but that's very inhumane. And those are the things we don't want you to do to our women who are dealing with this thing that already gives you a death scare every day. Every day you have cancer, you wake up every day, you are alive. You have a different level of gratitude. And you are supposed to be the support system.
And even for those who have survived, the other time I was just talking to Gina. For instance, if let's say I am coughing now, there's no way I'm thinking there's anything to worry about. But you can imagine someone like Gina coughing. So you are thinking about all the possibilities. What if it's a recurrence? What if it's a med that was missed? What if you have probably some small headache? I would just probably take a paracetamol. But if you are a survivor and you're having a headache, you're already worried. So the support is not even at the end of treatment. It's like
every day, lifetime.
It's like, because it's really tough on them. That's why I really appreciate those who are coming out to share their stories, because it's a daily struggle. It's a daily battle.
And this is part of the for better for worse, you see. When the breast was in shape and it was good and everything, you were nibbling, you were sucking on it, you were playing with it, you fight with baby over it. Now that there is problem, you want to abandon. We will not agree. You stay with it, make sure she's well, and what is left of it, you still appreciate it and thank God for life. Doc, it's been a very wonderful conversation, but we're not gone yet. I will be back to take your very final words before we go. But while we are at it, Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, and it contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, calcium, and all of this will aid in the healthy growth of your baby. It comes in 3 delicious flavors. Talk about the maize and the wheat, the rice and wheat variants, and it also comes in 3 unique pack sizes: the 50 gram, the 400 gram tea, and the 350 gram block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Now let me tell you this. Enrich your breakfast with the nourishing goodness of Dano Milk Cool Cow Instant Powdered Milk. The rich taste of Dano Milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, your oats, your cocoa, and others, and it gives you that great tasting breakfast you've always desired. Dano Milk Cool Cow is fortified with vitamin A, and is also a good source of protein and nutrients such as vitamin B12 and iodine to help keep you nourished and strong always. Dano Milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose Dano Milk today for your nourishment and build your strength every day. Dano Milk, go for it. Remember, this advert is FDA approved. Now let me ask you to shine your eyes, Mawini Naho, because cooking is being more fun and enjoyable than ever before. While cooking with your favorite Onga spices, there are also loads of gifts to be taken home just like that. Onga brings you Mawini Naho promo. Just shine your eyes and win big. This is Ongalicious. To enter the Shine Your Eyes promo and enjoy all the goodies, 1, just pick up together 25 promo wrappers of Onga shrimp tablets and add 5 promo wrappers of either chicken, beef or stew tablet to it. Then submit them at any of our redemption centers and you will instantly win a gift. You can win up to 100,000 cedis cash. You can win televisions. You can win washing machines, deep freezers, and many more. This is an instant gift. No go cambia. So shine your eyes and start picking the Onga promo wrappers now. This promo started on the 16th of October and it is ending on December 31st. Terms and conditions do apply, and remember, this advert is FDA approved. And it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for Business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple and fast. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompts, or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. You receive a reference number which you can use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Note that the application is free. Do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on Play Store and App Store. And let me say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Amasha Partners Limited and iCare. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Dano Milk, choose tasty milk. Choose Dano Milk. Dano Milk, go for it. Onga, Mama's Helping Hand. You are sponsors on Home Affairs, and we are grateful to you always for banking on us. Thank you so much to our sponsors. And like I said last week, we're hoping that this year you will bring us some packages to celebrate Christmas with our audiences with. Doc, we'll take your final words.
Okay, so first of all, let me say a big thank you again to Team Joy for all this investment you have made in the whole breast cancer awareness campaign, and I believe it's definitely gone a long way to help increase the awareness, and it's definitely also gone a long way to increase the number of people that we're seeing come to get screened. To end, I would say breast cancer is not a death sentence, and we can definitely win the fight against breast cancer by first of all making sure that we have a lot more people come and get screened. Not just get screened, but make sure that they are diagnosed early. Not just diagnosed early, also make sure that treatment starts early, and also make sure that not just having people start treatment, but also complete treatment. That's only the way we can help fight against breast cancer and get more people surviving. I would also want to end by saying that the fight against breast cancer is not just for one group or one organization. Like this month, I've seen so many people doing several things. There is a need for all of us to come together and fight with a solid front. Sometimes I feel there are like duplication of the efforts, so many groups doing so many things, but I feel we have a stronger chance at winning the fight if we all come together and give that, solid front and help get more people get screened, and also give a helping hand to the numerous survivors that we have.
Thank you very much, Doc. Dr. Grace Bachman is the medical director at Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center, and they have been in the thick of things when it comes to fighting breast cancer. And this year, we partnered them to bring you all the awareness that's needed to be brought to our doorsteps, and we want to say thank you. You have also invested a lot. All the screenings that you have done across the country brought us very beautiful Pink October t-shirts, Joy FM, Sonotech, and all the vouchers, that we had to give people, mammogram vouchers, ultrasound scan vouchers, and all that. We also want to say thank you, and we look forward to doing more on this. Thank you very much. And next week, definitely, I'll bring you progress report on Gifty and where we are with, her situation. But once again, I'd like to say thank you. And if you would want to make any donations towards any of these, it's 059-288-9987. 059-288-9987. We will need a lot of support. It doesn't matter how much you have. No amount is little. We appreciate it. And like we said, if it happens that we have enough and we can give Miriam also some, we will send some over to her. But thank you all very much for doing the listening. My name is Adam Knighty. Thank you to the team who has been working very hard in the background to ensure that you enjoy Home Affairs every Saturday morning, 6:15 through to 7:30. We're out next week. We come your way again. Thank you and bye-bye.